all may not be well in the several chapters of the APC in the state. Tonight we have the spokesperson of the APC, Mr. Felix Moka, who joins us from our Lagos studio. Thank you so much, Mr. Moka, for your time tonight. Give us an understanding, and I guess it would be good for us to begin in Imo State. The Supreme Court judgment, which declared Mr. Nwafo as the authentic leader, chairman of the party in Imo State, does that still subsist, or what is the position of the NWC or the leadership of the APC on the situation in Imo State?
Thank you so much for having me. Now, to begin with, the Supreme Court did not and never declared Mr. Nwafo as chairman of the Imo State chapter of the All Progressives Congress, APC. That I think is just one of the, misreading, if you will, of that decision of the Supreme Court. As a matter of fact, the Supreme Court did, strike down everything about the matter that led up to that appeal to the Supreme Court, effectively saying that the trial court had no jurisdiction to try or to entertain that matter that was brought originally in the High Court. And because that court had no jurisdiction, the Supreme Court concluded that everything that was done, every order given, every process that was filed in that matter were struck out. So the court returned the matter to status quo. So it was as though there was never a case filed in that matter. So it's actually incorrect to suggest that the Supreme Court in that matter did find that Mr. Nwafo-led executive is actually the legitimate executive. So that's the accurate reading by the majority decision in that case. But of course, I've seen and read a lot of misinterpretations, if you will, or misappropriation of that decision of the Supreme Court. So I think that, I'm giving you now the accurate reading, the effect of that decision by the Supreme Court, in that matter in Imo State.
So what is the true position of things now from the purview of the NWC? Who is the leadership, authentic leadership of the APC in Imo State?
Thank you. Yes, the Macdonald Ebere-led executive committee in Imo State is the legal, legitimate, and authentic structure of the party in the state. Now, you will recall that sometime in I think it was 2020, in December 2020, the then caretaker committee of the National Caretaker Committee of our party, the Buni-led committee, dissolved all of the executive committees of all the state chapters of our party, pursuant to its authority, exercised on behalf of the National Executive Committee of our party. By that action, all of the executive committees of APC across the country, including Imo State, were dissolved by the caretaker committee. And in their place, caretaker committees were set up for each of the chapters of our party, including Imo State. So, meaning that as of 2020, the pre-existing committee was dissolved and a caretaker committee appointed. And then, of course, we had the Congress we had in 2021 across the country that produced a new executive committee in Imo State, just like, we also had new executive committees in all of the other states in the country. So that new committee that was elected in 2021 is the one led by the Macdonald Ebere committee in Imo State. So that is the authentic structure, and that committee was duly inaugurated by the party. So there's really no controversy. And the effect of the Supreme Court, like I said, was to completely, nullify every action, every decision that was taken by the High Court in that matter because that court, according to the Supreme Court, lacked the jurisdictional competence to have entertained the matter in the first place. So it's as though that case never was. So the correct position now and the real...
So we take your statement tonight as the official position of the party, of the National Working Committee, and how further the Imo State chapter of the APC should operate, isn't it? Taken, right?
That is correct. This, what I'm relating to you at this moment, was in fact the outcome of the NWC meeting that was held yesterday, in which this issue of Imo State was comprehensively reviewed, discussed. The findings that I've just related were made, and the decision also that I've just related was also made, which is that the Macdonald Ebere-led executive committee is the legitimate, the legal, and the, if you will, the authentic structure of the party in that state. So I think with that, I think we expect that our members in Imo State will follow this position and leave the controversy behind.
So quickly, let's touch on Akwa Ibom State. Your party is at the risk of not having any candidate for the governorship in Akwa Ibom State, just like we saw in Zamfara State the other time. Well, in River State, so apologies for that. It was in River State in 2019 that your party had a disastrous outing and that could not fit the candidate then. So what is happening in Akwa Ibom, and how are you hoping to arrest the situation, or all hope is lost?
No, there's no, as far as we're concerned, we do not have any problems really in Akwa Ibom State. Yes, there's been a lot of discussion about this in the media, especially as instigated by the resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Mike Guinea, who has simply abandoned his responsibility as an INEC commissioner to become completely partisan. He's acted very aberrantly in his expressions and his representations. Now, we are a political party. Our duty is to conduct our primaries and to submit the list of our candidates to INEC. INEC's duty is to receive them and actually do what the law requires it to do, which is to put them forward. Now, look, if anyone has any...
but the question is, if maybe you did not do your primaries according to the rules and guidelines of INEC.
Look,
because those are some of the issues that have been raised.
Correct. Those are the issues in discussion. But that is not the case. We have, followed and complied with all of the requirements that we are obligated to follow and have made those submissions. Now, at this point, anyone who has any misgivings or who disagrees with or has feels, in any way shortchanged by what has been done, of course, has a right to approach the courts, for redress. But it's not up to an INEC commissioner in the state to determine, just by fiat, that certain primaries did not comply. That, and by the way, we have not been notified officially by INEC that any of the candidates that we have submitted in Akwa Ibom or elsewhere, have fallen short of the legal process, the guidelines of INEC. We haven't received.
Let me throw the last question, and we just have about 60 seconds to close, Mr. Moka, if you can help on that. We assume that the name of Mr. Masari, who has been submitted to INEC as a running mate to Mr. Bola Tinubu, the presidential candidate of your party, is assumed that he's a placeholder, is holding it momentarily until your party have a permanent name. That's what we assume, because the candidate himself has said that he's still searching for a running mate. Give us an understanding of what is happening as far as the certificate is concerned. Some of your supporters are worried about the issue of certificate of your candidate, the Bola Tinubu, the former governor of Lagos State. Are you hoping to resolve that? What is your party telling Nigerians on this matter?
Look, our candidate is working very hard to make, that nomination. and nominate someone, who brings a lot of integrity and value to the ticket. Now, that's a decision that, can't be made lightly. And he's taking his time and, consulting widely to ensure that eventually he makes the right call. As for other, matters relating to documentation and all of that, that I think is a matter for the candidate to deal with INEC. And I'm not going to, go into that because I'm not able to speak for the candidate on that, very personal documentation matters. But I think that the candidate is doing everything to have this nomination closed, properly in the best interest of the party.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Felix Moka, the national spokesperson of the APC. Thank you so much indeed for clarifying these issues for us.
Thank you.